One of the things that excites us about church planting is simply this, is that we get an opportunity to share Jesus with people who probably have never heard his name before.
You know, one of my favorite stories of doing this church planting thing happened a few months ago, and it was one of these moments where, as this story unfolded, I knew that we were doing what we were called to do, and we were where God wanted us to be.
One of the things that excites me about church planting is just the opportunity to be able to meet so many different people. Coming to the city in Brooklyn, you just don't know who or what you're going to get, but I enjoy meeting and just building relationship with other people.
To just meet new people and actually be part of what God is doing and changing lives. It's just been awesome, and I can't find that thrill or that involvement in any other aspect of life.
What excites me is that it's something new. I've never experienced anything like this before, and to be able to serve God in this capacity is such an honor for me, and to be able to do this right alongside my husband and our kids, to be a part of it, is really a great deal for me. So that's really what excites me.
We had prayed for somebody who wouldn't mind being part-time, who lived or would move to Staten Island, who would get to know us, who would be involved and wouldn't care if there were 5 people or 500 people that would still lead worship. And God very clearly gave us somebody very specific for that role who meets every single one of those needs.
And we felt led to plant in downtown Brooklyn primarily because there was just that unique understanding that the Holy Spirit gives you, that there's a certain place and location you need to be, and we just felt that clear impression from the Lord first.
Well, many of them had never walked into a church and never actually heard the gospel taught, and so that was just heartbreaking, and so we wanted to be part of that solution. We wanted to be able to come there, plant a church there.
My wife and I never thought we would be involved in church planting. It was something that was brought to our attention about 7 or 8 years ago, and God just broke our heart for church planting and discipleship.
Julie and I were praying about where did God want us to start a church, and we really did. We felt this call for church planting right from the beginning of our marriage. We've been married 3 years now, and we were doing some great stuff, but we just knew that God wanted us to go somewhere. And
we decided when we got back to Atlanta, we pulled into a gas station, we looked at each other and said, we must be out of our minds moving to New York. But we knew that God had called us there, and even though we were going to lay down the things that he had already blessed us with, again, it was worth leaving and going back to be where God wanted us, calling us to be.
And probably the most exciting thing for us about church planting is seeing people who have come to experience the power of forgiveness that comes through Jesus Christ, and how those lives have been changed and transformed in a way that only he could provide. And that's probably what just keeps us so excited about planting churches and seeing people come to know Jesus.
We spent a good deal of our first year building relationships with people. God began to provide things for us to give away. I know that sounds crazy, but we had someone bring up 800 coats for us last year at Thanksgiving, and we just gave them away to people to let them know that God hadn't forgotten them.
We feel that God has called us to church planting namely because there's so many needs. When we look at the tri-state area, there's so many unserved areas where the gospel has not been presented. There's so many numbers of people who are unchurched, who have no affiliation with any type of evangelical Christian organization. And so we feel as though this is the right time.
As a church planter's wife, I really enjoy the authenticity of meeting other women and new believers, those who maybe are reading and opening their Bibles for the very first time, aren't afraid to admit that they don't know their way around the Bible, aren't afraid to admit some of their mistakes and their past failures.
Something unique about our situation, we are planted out of Randall Church, which is in Williamsville, New York, which is 180 years old. There was another church in the area came, and I had been on staff for all of about a month as a church multiplication pastor. But they came and asked if we could help them, and it turned out they handed over the building, their assets, everything there that was at that church and at that location, a facility, 36,000 square feet, and they handed it to us and said, please plant a church here. With money in the bank, the building paid for. That doesn't happen, and the only way that that happens is if God is in it.